Hello there and welcome to Clever Stock, and I've got a very special interview lined up for you today.
Basically, Fibromat, we have hybrid business model. In Malaysia, we have a lot of rain and very high intensity of rainfall. And as the business grow, we do some reverse engineering and replicate another 2 more machines. In 2009, being a small company, we already engaged BDO as our auditor.
What does this significant increase mean for Fibromat's operations?
What's your order book? Sorry, we don't depend on order books. Second, what is your utilization rate? Sorry, we don't base on utilization rate.
Hello there and welcome to Clever Stock. You're here with me, Wan Izul Islam, and I've got a very special interview lined up for you today, a corporate interview with none other than the company Fibromat. Now, joining me today, we have Danny Ng. He's the Managing Director and CEO from Fibromat. All right, so we've got a couple of questions for you today, so let's get started. Since this is the first time Clever Stock is interviewing you as our corporate guest speaker, could you share with our audience in a couple of minutes what is the core business of Fibromat?
Thank you, Cik Wan Izul. Okay, basically, Fibromat, we have a hybrid business model, meaning we are in design, we are in manufacturing, we are in installation, so we actually covers the whole spectrum of the erosion control and geosynthetic segment of the market. Now, you might wonder, sometimes when we talk about erosion control, geosynthetic, what it encompasses. So basically, the company started as an erosion control product manufacturer in Asia. I would say that we are the pioneer in Asia.
Wow.
Okay, because Fibromat originally was started by United Engineers. So they brought the technology over here for when they were actually bidding for the North-South Highway. So because it's a massive highway project, so there's a lot of slopes where you need to protect, for erosion purpose and also greening. So in the past, what we do is that for the slope, we actually use turfing. But then in Malaysia, unfortunately, there's not many big turf farm, So therefore, what they do is that if you want turf, they will go and correct from here, they patch here and patch there, So what we do here with our system is that instead of using, I would say, a turf, we use a hydroseeding. So we hydroseed, meaning we mix the seed, the fertilizer, the tackifier, and the mulching material where we spray on the slope. Okay. Now in Malaysia, unfortunately, we have a lot of rain and very high intensity of rainfall. So therefore, when you spray, if you spray using this application, this method in Malaysia context, when you spray in the morning, afternoon it rain, everything will be washed away. So therefore, the usage of erosion control blanket is very important. You see, so what we do is that we produce erosion control blanket out of 3 natural agricultural waste substrates. So there is paddy straw, palm fiber, coconut fiber. So what we do is that after they spray the hydroseeding mix, we cover the slope. So it's already protected. Even if rain, it's protected. Even the bird, if want to eat the seed, cannot because it's already protected. So that's one part of the business where we started as the pioneer in in this region, okay, for erosion control blanket. So in 1999, when we took over this company, okay, so we have an old machine, okay, with my little background, when I study mechanical engineering, okay, We try to refurbish the machine. And as the business grow, we do some reverse engineering and replicate another 2 more machines. That after, when we have bigger, only then that we approach the so-called the original, the authentic machine manufacturer from Germany. At that time we don't have money. We went there, we only get certain parts of the machine from Germany, important parts, the rest is all fabricated here. So from there, if we only rely on, I would say, erosion control, the market is not as big because in Malaysia, you need to cover everything. So therefore, we venture into other products related to erosion control. So like non-woven geotextile, woven geotextile, geogrid, and all other products related to geosynthetics that covers erosion control, ground stabilization, reinforcement, greening, and also for wall system and ground so-called reinforcement. Our journey actually started as a micro SME to a SME to a bigger SME and now to a MTC. Okay, so that is the journey. But however, I also like to share to the audience that being an entrepreneur in this line of business in Malaysia is actually very, very challenging. Because in Malaysia, sometimes when you do something technical, we don't have the, I would say, the backup from the government to support these SMEs. So we are on our own, meaning when you do technical products, you need a lot of certification, you need a lot of validation. So how do you get it? Okay, you need to go out. You need to go countries like in Thailand, in Singapore, in Korea, to get all this validation. Because you can come up with a product, but not necessarily you can sell because you need to have the certification. So that is a challenge that we have gone through until today, and that's why we even have our own lab, which is the ISO 17025 certified. We have to spend few million to set up because unfortunately our local testing bodies don't have that support to us because we are the only local manufacturer in this industry.
Fantastic. I mean, from what you've told me, you guys are the pioneers in this region, so it must have been a challenge because as a pioneer, you have to be the first to do it and you have no one to refer to, all right? And from what I hear as well, I mean, you guys are also the ones keeping our roads safe, especially
the
in
road
Malaysia.
safe, and being a local manufacturer and being, I would say, how should I say, never say die entrepreneur. Okay, and also I like to share that in Malaysia, unfortunately, again, being local is a disadvantage.
That's true. That's true.
Sometimes we might say that being in other parts of the country, in the world, probably you being local, you always have an advantage. It's just like when you play EPL, a home ground, you can, a bottom table, you can beat the top table because the home ground advantage. But in our case, unfortunately, we don't have. But we are very daring and raring. Okay, we have the past, even in 2002, we have re-ventured into China. We set with our partners in China, I set our first office in Huizhou, then we went to Hainan, then we went to Guangzhou. And we are the first company, our system have been endorsed by China Railway. I mean, that is, because that time China don't have anything, but now they are more than, we have to get from them, okay? So we even go to like Sri Lanka. We did the first job, when they have the first highway in Sri Lanka, the Southern Highway. So we went there. And apart from that, also we have been able to export to more than 15 countries like Korea, Taiwan, Japan, Indonesia, I mean, around this region. So I think also India, very tough market, we managed to penetrate. So after going through other countries, proving that other countries can accept our product, only Malaysia accept our product. So that is a very, very tough journey.
Definitely. Now, speaking about your journey, maybe you can briefly remind us when Fibromat was listed on the Bursa Malaysia LEAP market, and how long the transfer process from the LEAP market to the ACE market took. Could you also share with us, what journey your company went through during this transfer process from LEAP market to ACE market of Bursa Malaysia?
Okay, this is one interesting story I like to share. I always say that my journey from, like I said, a micro SME to a listed entity is probably maybe one of the longest, and in any listed company in ACE. Okay, like I say, we are a small company, but we have a vision. We know what we want to go. Okay, even in 2009, we have already convert our accounting standard from MPERS to MFRS. Okay, in 2009, being a small company, we already engaged BDO as our auditor.
Wow.
So that shows that we want to move forward. We really want to go. And the first journey when we started the route to IPO was in 2013. It was a very long time ago. And our first advisor is actually OSK. Then when OSK was taken over by RHB, that time ACE market was not the preferred market. So normally bankers, they try not to go for ACE. They only go for main. Okay. Then we have to depart. Okay. That's where we engage another consultant, advisor. We get another banker to do it. However, it doesn't materialize, so we have a mutual termination. Then, because the LEAP market came in the picture, so we have another advisor who advised, why don't you go to LEAP? You might have a shortcut, because when the listing, I would say that the framework comes out, then probably, instead of going to ACE, which take a long time, you might have a shorter route, because it's just like you go for education, when you go Form 6 or you go pre-U, we will have exemption. But this is a wishful thinking. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. So we were stuck in LEAP for 6 years, pushing very hard, trying to go. So when the first listing, framework came out on April Fool, 1st of April. So actually, indeed, it's an April Fool, So it's just nothing, no goodies. I would say that as far as the transfer from LEAP to ACE. However, yes, we still have to do, and the journey took some time for us to, and we managed to cross the line, and we thank our advisors who actually guide us and make our dream actually a reality.
You mentioned earlier, you got to be daring and raring to go, and definitely a wonderful journey for your company. Now, moving on to my next question. If I'm not mistaken, Fibromat's outstanding order book was much smaller before the transfer listing, but it now has increased to more than 300 million ringgit after the transfer listing, so post-listing, especially following the winning of the 283.5 million ringgit Central Spiral Road contract. This is a big contract for you guys. What does this significant increase mean for Fibromat's operations compared to your company's past 26 years of operations?
Yeah. Prior to for our listing to ACE, actually we were, in fact, when we have analyst briefing or what, there's two questions that they always ask us. What's your order book? Sorry, we don't depend on order books, Okay. Second, what is your utilization rate? Sorry, we don't base on utilization rate, because Fibromat, like I said, we are not a product-specific manufacturer. We are more as a solution provider. So meaning, depending on the situation, okay, of, that's why we always say we look on the top, depend, always say depend on the God, when people suffer, we gain, okay. So that is how we move. We are solution provider, and our order book, very little. I mean, even prior to our transfer, we are about 30 million. Because, like I said, this is, even though I would say that as a small company, as an SME, we did pretty well. Even though our numbers are small, but our bottom line are very, very healthy and very good. Okay, so because there are only certain sector of the market where we serve the underserved, meaning that the company, the certain consultant, certain projects that people cannot do, we go in. Certain soil protection or erosion problem that other people don't do, we do. These are not big projects, but these are critical projects. And with these projects, we can demand a better margin. Now, moving forward, as a ACE-listed company, we have gained recognition. We have gained visibility. And people like Cleverstock and other, social media would actually give us a lot of weightage. We are more recognizable. People believe that we are at least, I would say a local company which have a potential, meaning that, okay, I think this company is okay, because the past, they are just a still small company, people don't recognize. So that is something very, I would say that as a SME and all the SME, I think the perception we have to change. And the recognition against the SME and also the local made product must be supported. So, coming back to how we get this project. In fact, this Central Spine Road, we've been doing this project for this same customer. Okay, what are the jobs that we do for them? What scope of the job for that project actually we are undertaking? In fact, we are undertaking the geotechnical work, ground stabilization of the project, which is the most critical. If we can do the most critical job of that project, so the other earthwork and road furnitures and pavement, I think it's about project management. It's about getting the right people to do the job. So that's why when we approach the main contractor, and they know that if we can do this part of work, there's no reason we can do the other rest. It's just, like I say, getting the right people to do the job. So with that, we were given the whole project to manage. And until today, we started the project on the 15th of May, and until today, the progress is very good. It's only that the weather is not good to us because too much rain. Otherwise, everything has been, to our satisfaction, everything, the project goes very well. We managed to do, and we managed to assemble a very competent team, very experienced team to undertake the project.
Okay, so hold that thought, okay? At the same time, we have to address these concerns as well, where the investing community, they're a little bit skeptical about how Fibromat can handle this very large project, this 283.5 million ringgit project alone. Given that Fibromat has only focused on providing geotechnical engineering solutions before this and also the services for the past 26 years, maybe you can address these concerns. You've mentioned you've got a competent team, and what else can you tell investors in terms of the skepticism that they are facing right now? Can Fibromat do this? Is this something that Fibromat is capable of doing?
I would think that we can do it, and we can do more than this. Yeah, if let's say an offer were to come for another size of this project, we still can undertake. You see, the market now, the present construction market, there's a lot of players. That includes, all those support line, for construction. There are many, but how many projects available? So If you can get good project, you are not afraid of getting people to support your project. It's again, like I say, it's about project management and whether you can get the right people to do the job. So it's just like some big public listed main board companies which have billions and billions of projects. Can they undertake their own? Do they do their stuff? No, it isn't. It's just that they have the right people to do the job.
That's good. Really great answer. Now, staying on the topic of projects, okay, you did mention there's not a lot of projects, but there are a lot of market players right now in the industry. Maybe I can ask a little bit about your company's latest outstanding order book, and that's based on, of course, your most recent cutoff date. What are the major projects being undertaken by your company, Fibromat, and where are most of these projects located?
Okay, now the biggest project, as you know, will be the Central Spine Road, Package 2A. So the balance of contract, we are still having maybe about 250 million. Other projects, we have a lot of small projects, ranges from a few million, like average project size is about 1 to 2 million, not big. We have about 56 projects, but our major project now for supply and install will be in Sabah for the Pan Borneo Highway 1B. And also, we have taken over assets. We cannot take company, but we can take over assets. So we used to have a subcontractor for our PVD installation. We are manufacturer of PVD, but in PVD, normally the contractor won't award only supply of PVD. They will award supply and install. So with the asset acquisition, we have 25 PVD machines. We can consider either number one or we would consider maybe we are the number one, the biggest in Malaysia as an installer. Presently, we have 16 projects ongoing on PVD installation. That's about the project's size up to about total project about 48 million. Yeah. So we are, after taking over, now we are going to expand probably another 5 more machines. So with that 30 machines, I would think that we should be the biggest in Malaysia. So that is about all those PVD, erosion control, and also slope repairs. We do a lot of some small critical slope repair work, which generate quite a handsome margin.
Talking about your margins, I mean, for potential new investors and also existing shareholders of Fibromat, what could they anticipate in terms of revenue growth and also profit margin for Fibromat over the next maybe 2 to 3 years, especially in relation to this newly awarded Central Spine Road contract and also other projects? You've got quite a couple already, especially with PVDs. So what can they expect in terms of your revenue growth and profit margin in the next few years?
Okay. Like I mentioned earlier, our business is a hybrid business model, meaning if depending the company, where do we want to go? If we want to get top line, okay, if you want to increase top line, we need to undertake contract, okay. So we are very selective. We are very selective because we are not a contractor per se. Because if we are contractor, that's our bread and butter. We have to fight, So, like I say, most of our project, we would want to go for a design and build contract. Okay, design and build, meaning for big contracts. So now, Malaysia, due to the climate change, we have 2 major scenarios. But the worst one will be very high rainfall. When we have high rainfall, we have flooding. When we have flooding, the government need to protect properties. So therefore, the budget for flood mitigation is very high. And we are a solution provider, okay, for flood mitigation problems. We have been doing for the past. Okay, now we can replicate the same for bigger projects because we have proven that it's done and is working. So that is one part of the job. So we also now going for other like slope repair jobs, and like I say, road works, where we can do value engineering. Okay, therefore, again, like I say, we try to go for more for the, if possible, selective direct nego, or more on the design and build concept, where we can command a better margin. So others, like I say, being a supplier and a solution provider. Now, the past government allocated a lot of budget on flood mitigation projects, which now they are just taking off. And we have discussed with a lot of these contractors where we will be supplying the product for their application. So like I say, being a hybrid contractor, if we lose the project, we still win some, we don't lose all. Meaning, like, just for example, okay, now, so Central Spine Road, we have 1A, 1B, 1C, 2A, 2B, 3. Okay, now we are doing package 2, 1A. But 1A we are supplying, 1B we are supplying, 2A we are doing, or 2B we are supplying. So even if we lost the project, we still gain some. So it's not a total loss. So therefore, with the government emphasize more for infrastructure projects, like I say, it's whether we get the whole project or we get a part of the project. We still gain some.
Fantastic. It's great to always gain some.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get all, you still have something in the pipeline.
Yeah.
All right. Now, while we congratulate Fibromat on, of course, successfully transferring from the LEAP market to the ACE market since early May 2025, maybe we can ask what significant changes Fibromat has experienced before and after the transfer listing, such as, in terms of your company's expansion journey, your business world recognition, what has changed post-listing for Fibromat?
I think, to me, the major changes that I can see that and I can feel is the recognition. Recognition that from a transformation of a SME to a listed ACE entity. So now, most of the players, the main contractors, our client, look us with more confidence. I think when you get more confidence in us, they will give us more opportunity. So more opportunity will translate to better sales. So I think that is one thing that, and even now with this visibility, we have a lot of foreign players, the world players are coming to Malaysia. When they come to Malaysia, the first thing they ask, who is the biggest local player? And our name pops up. I think that is something is very valuable to us.
Fantastic that you've gotten that recognition. Yeah. You've worked hard for it, of course,
yeah, sure.
Especially over the past few years. All right. Now, you did mention a little bit about budget from the government, especially with regards to flood mitigation. Now, my next question will be following up on, of course, the announcement of Budget 2026. How can Fibromat capitalize on especially new opportunities arising from the infrastructure development expenditure in Malaysia?
In the Budget 2026, the government have allocated 2.2 billion for 43 high priority flood mitigation projects, and also 260 million for slope repair and maintenance, which is very much related to us. Okay. On top of that, there's a 2.5 billion allocated for maintenance of federal roads. Okay. 2.5 billion for rural and village road. Okay. New roads for Kalabakan to Semanggaris and airport upgrades for Penang, Sabah, and Sarawak, which costs about 2.3 billion. Like I say, even like for airports expansion, we won't be doing all this airport work, but we will be supplying a lot of this geotechnical product, especially for the pavement reinforcement and whatnot for these projects. Okay. Sometimes there's a lot of other budgets, a huge budget for LRT and all that. Okay, unfortunately, we have very, very little or none because there's nothing that we can what. So we only concentrate on what we are, are best at, like for example, mainly for flood mitigation, slope repairs, So roadworks, that's our very, very much related to what we are doing.
Very fantastic indeed. Now, before we conclude today's interview, of course, do you have any particular key takeaways or important messages that you want the investing community to remember your company by? What do you want the investors to remember Fibromat by?
I think, like I say, we are daring, we are raring. Keep following the progress and what's on the social media, and we hope to give investors more pleasant surprises.
All right. Thank you so much, Danny Ng, the Managing Director and CEO from Fibromat. Definitely worthwhile sharing session with you today. Very good interview indeed. And yes, we're hoping for a little more surprises after this, especially post-listing. You guys have been doing very well from a very small company to now ACE market listed company. Keep up the good work, keep up the projection, and hopefully by next year we'll see you again and you'll be MNC.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Scan now and download Cleverstock, your trusted source for market insights.